Go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Pastor Keith here, Brother Keith here with a special word that I have to give to the world. Check this out. I got a word from the Lord a couple weeks back. I was visiting a couple different homes with basements. To be quite frank, I've been to a few homes of drug dealers, and some of their homes had basements. And in their basements, some of these drug dealers had what you would call a hydroponic lab, where they can grow marijuana, other type of drugs, but marijuana mainly, but special strains and other types of drugs they can grow by using heat, certain kind of heats, LED lighting, and all that type of stuff in their basements. And I've seen this throughout the United States, and also I've seen it in other places as well. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up, while I was in some of these drug dealers' homes, um, a prophetic word came to me, and I delivered it to multiple different drug dealers. Some of these guys are retired, no longer growing drugs, illicit drugs, and some of them still work. But the prophetic word, the Lord has implored, kind of gave it to me to that I can release it now. So let's just hear this word, and this is not for the religious. This word is for people who have ears to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. All right? If you are growing drugs, if you know how to grow marijuana or any type of drugs inside your basement, in your home, and some of you are doing it in some states or countries where it's illegal, the word of the Lord is that's going forward right now is you will be better. You will be better off growing food. I'm going to repeat that again. If you are growing drugs in your home, in your basements, and things of that nature, the word of the Lord is you will be better learning to grow food. You will be better off learning to grow food. That's the word of the Lord. So, this is a very strange word. I understand it. If you're growing drugs, if you're doing any of those things, the Lord is giving you a season of, He's giving you a season where you learn that you were in that particular environment, but the Lord is still giving you a season to change your ways and get out of that. And instead of growing marijuana and other types of illicit drugs, learn to grow food. Use the knowledge you've gained from doing all those different enterprises, and many of them were serving the devil and serving your pocket. You're going to be better off learning to grow food. Learn to grow any type of food you can doing the hydroponics and the LED lighting and stuff like that in your basement. Learn to grow the greens, the kale, the spinach, whatever you can learn to grow. Some of you really have some really good talent and skills. I've seen some of you even on social media and YouTube. One particular YouTuber who I got to meet personally, and he didn't know that I had a channel, but he was growing. Um, it is what it is. He received the prophetic word. I gave this word to some other drug dealers as well, and some of them have listened to this prophetic word and have started growing food. So I'm just saying that worldwide, for wherever you're at, wherever the Lord tells you to learn, start growing food now. If there's an urgency, learn to grow food now. You will be able to feed your family. You may be able to feed your neighbor, and it will even be more profitable. That is also the word from the Lord. It will be more profitable, especially for those even in the United States. It will be more profitable for you to learn to grow food. Learn to grow it inside your basement. Learn to grow it in your home. Learn it now. It will be more profitable. And when the Lord gave me that particular word as well, that part where it said it will be more profitable, I understood it because in a time of famine, people are not going to be so anxious to go and smoke weed or to do other types of drugs. That's not going to be on top of people's priority list. The priority will be feeding themselves, feeding their kids, feeding their mom, their dad, getting something in people's belly. That's going to be the priority. And if you have the knowledge, you know how to start growing food in your home, in your basements, etc., you will do very well. You will do very well. So please take that word seriously. Now, the other part of this I wanted to say is there are some people who have received the prophetic word concerning famine to come, and some of you, many of you who watch my channel, you are listening, you're doing what you can do. Some of you are in my Patreon group, and God bless you. But some of you are waiting for validation from man. You're waiting for man to tell you that it's okay. You're waiting for validation from a friend or a family member when you've already heard the prophetic word from the Lord. The Lord has already given you dreams and visions that a famine is coming, especially, I have to say this, especially those of you in the United States. All right. The prophetic word has gone forward. Now, I can speak for the United States because the Lord has showed me what's going to coming into the United States. Now, other countries, other nations, the Lord let me know it's not going to be the same for every country. So you have to seek the Lord concerning this. Whether you're in certain countries in Africa, certain countries in South America, in Europe, in Canada, etc. You have to seek the Lord for your particular area of the world, because some places it's going to be different and it won't be so severe. All right, it just might be a little more expensive, but that's it. Where in other places like the United States, it's going to get very severe. And the famine, it could be because of different reasons. I see, I'm looking at different things. We have the economic front, where we talk about economic collapse or economic setbacks, however you want to word that. We also have solar flares, which has happened in the past. Google the Carrington event. You have solar flares. We also have EMPs from war. EMPs, an electromagnetic pulse. Those type of things can knock out the electrical grid. And if your electrical grid is down for 6 months to a year in your particular country, you've got a serious problem, because that means when you go to the Walmart or the Publix or Kroger or Asda, whichever supermarket store you go to, guess what? If there's no electrical grid, that means there's not going to be any food on the shelves. So these are things you have to think about. So all these different type of things can happen. And then we also have we have chemical warfare, where something can happen, whether it's genetic warfare, chemical warfare, anything of that nature, where someone poisons the land on a farm or something like that. These are things where some prophetic voices are seeing these type of things coming in the very near future. So any of these type of things can make a famine, or a manufactured famine, it can make it happen. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Now, what I'm showing you right here, for those of you who are seeking validation, which I'm saying you don't need to seek validation from man, do what the Lord has shown you to do. I'm literally in the basement of one of my close friends from church, and what I'm just showing you is food storage. Don't get all pretty. I don't want people to think, well, the basement has to be neat, it has to be nice, it has to be nice white walls and neat and all that. No, that's making excuses. You do what you gotta do. If you get yourself some Mylar bags, buckets, do whatever you have to do. You can store some food. Right here is an example I have for my friend. I'm just showing you. These are 5-gallon Mylar bags. These are filled with rice. They have oxygen absorbers on the inside, and they're sealed up. And you see the oxygen absorbers made it really tight on these particular ones, because he put in a few oxygen absorbers, and it's really tight. The oxygen dissolved really good. This is going to keep the food for years and years to come. All right, and that's just rice inside there. These are different smaller packets. Some of them has spices, seasoning, soups, oatmeal, oats. All right, and the way that my friend has done it, he's done it really wise. If you see how the way this garbage can looks, it looks like it's just trashy and got dirt and all that stuff and paint. That's done by reason. There's a reason for that madness, okay? So if someone who's not from your home comes into the house and sees that, they can sometimes think it's just garbage or something, nothing, but it looks like it's something not worth looking into. In times of a food crisis, when the famine comes, people will be robbing people's homes for food. Take that prophetic warning as well. People will be robbing people's homes for food. So you've got to make sure it doesn't look so, so obvious that it's food. But this is long-term food storage, all right? And you can see where it is in part of this person's home, where it's not a neat-looking basement. There's tools down here. There's all kind of stuff down here, and people can, a thief can not, and especially in that time of famine, a thief can overlook it and think, there ain't no food in there, and they just keep moving. All right, so you're going to use a lot of wisdom in the days to come, and I'm just praying that people are going to receive this word. Both the drug dealer and the non-drug dealer, the Christian and the non-Christian, you can receive this word, because the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. All right, so when the prophetic word goes forward and when it comes to pass, people are going to know Jesus Christ is real. So there's a lot of unbelievers who are watching this. They're going to come around to Christ later. All right, but for some of you Christians who are sitting there waiting validation, that's an error on your part. If the Lord has showed it to you in dreams and visions, do what you got to do. Start preparing now. Don't sit there and wait for your pastor or your aunt or your boyfriend, husband, cousin, one of your relatives, your friend from work, your best friend to give you validation when the Holy Spirit has already gave you a dream or a vision or spoke it to you, and you see all the evidence right now in your country or in your area that things are going to ramp up at some point in time. Start getting food together now. Get your long-term food storage together now. There's a lot of people on YouTube showing you how to do it. There's also people who wrote books on this stuff on Amazon. For those of you who supported my book, thank you. My first book, The Prepper and the Preacher, a spiritual survival guide. Thank you for supporting that book. That book just shows you the spiritual aspect of prepping, but it is definitely a must read. But there's so many books on preparedness and preparing long-term food storage. You just got to go out there and look for it. And for those of you in my Patreon, thanks for being there. And for those of you that want to join my Patreon, it's a twofold class where I teach long-term food storage, water, we teach electricity, we teach preparing for emergencies, we teach gold and silver, we teach how to assess your gold and silver. Is it fake? Is it real? It's a very thorough class, all right? For those of you who want to join that class, there is a fee, but it's 2 classes in one. And for those of you that are already in the class, thanks for being there. And again, I want to thank everybody that supported this channel, supported this ministry. I want to say thank you again. I'm just thanking you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. And for those of you who heard these prophetic words today, for those of you that please take action. Do not take this lightly, because when things change, they're going to change very quickly. All right? And if you take your time and start doing the preparation from now, you won't suffer loss. You won't suffer lack. All right? This is not a fear-based message. This is a message of wisdom. The Bible says we are to be wise as serpents. The Bible also says in Proverbs that the prophetic word in Proverbs is I'm just trying to remember it to make sure I got it correctly. A wise man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. The simple pass on and yet are punished. Okay? So a wise man, he can see what's going to come. He can see what's coming down the road, and he starts preparing. Okay? So you got to make a decision who you're going to be and what you are. And the Bible also says something interesting. Jesus said that as in the days of Noah, so shall it be before the coming of the Son of Man. What did Noah do? Noah prepared. All right, guys. Got to go. God bless you. Brother Keith, Pastor Keith is out of here.